Hey everyone, welcome back to the last sessions with Pastor Carlos. Today, we're tackling something we've all felt, but maybe didn't have the words for. You ever notice how people closest to you, family, friends, even folks you grew up with, can sometimes be the slowest to recognize what God is doing in you? Jesus said it himself: a prophet is not without honor except in his own hometown and among his relatives and his own household. Mark 6:4. And man, if even Jesus had to deal with that, you better believe you will also. You know, this isn't just a Bible story, this is real life. We've all felt the sting of being underestimated, especially by the people we thought that would have our backs. Think about it. Maybe you finally stepped into your calling. You start preaching, leading, writing, building something new. And suddenly your family is like, oh, Carlos, we remember when you used to get in trouble at school. Or wait, isn't that the same kid who used to hang out on the block? What's he doing leading now? You see, um, in my personal story, some people could only relate to the Carlos that was addicted Carlos. Some people will only be able to relate to the Carlos that was a liar. Some people are only going to be able to relate the one that was traumatized. Some people will only remember you by who you were, not who God is making you or your destiny. But it cuts deep. And it happens in business too. You open a shop, you launch a ministry, you start a podcast, and the people who should be your first customers or your first supporters are nowhere to be found. Why? Because in their eyes, you're still little you. They see the carpenter, not the Christ. They see the history, but not the destiny. And it cuts deep, doesn't it? Because strangers will clap for you before your family ever does. People across the world will follow your work before the people in your living room even acknowledge it. And it hurts. That hurts. It can feel like betrayal. But here's the truth. It's not always hate. It's blindness. See, the people who know you best can get stuck on a version of you they first met. They've built a whole mental picture of who you are, and it doesn't update easily. Growth feels invisible to those who are too close to notice it. It's like walking by a tree in your own yard. You don't see it. It's growing day by day, but the neighbor who hasn't been by it in a while walks past it and says, wow, that thing has doubled in size. So what do we do? What do we do? We stop expecting people who only know our past to fully embrace our future. We stop demanding applause from among the wrong audience. And we rest in the fact that God always provides right voices, the right community to affirm what he is doing in us. And sometimes, let me be real, it's better that way. Because when the people closest to you don't recognize your gift, it forces you to lean even harder on God's voice. It makes you depend on him and his confirmation, not theirs. And when you rely on him, you don't need anyone else's approval. And a lot of times when the closest people to you, they don't understand because they're stuck in their own patterns. Amen? You see, what's familiar breeds resistance. We struggle to see people beyond the version we first met. The enemy uses doubt from the closest voices to discourage us. Sometimes rejection from those close to us hurts more than opposition from strangers. If Jesus faced this, it's not a sign of failure. It's a confirmation you're walking in his footsteps. You don't need validation from everyone to walk in your calling. Sometimes God will send affirmation from unexpected places. Keep walking, speaking, keep showing up. Recognition may not come at home, but the fruit always speaks louder than doubt. So, stay prayerful. Maybe you've been wrestling with that discouragement, feeling unseen, unheard, underestimated by those you thought would be your biggest supporters. I want you to remember this. Your worth is not tied to their recognition. God already affirmed you when he called you. Let's close this with prayer. Lord, help us to stand firm when we feel overlooked by the people closest to us. Teach us to walk in your calling with boldness, even when it's not celebrated. And let our lives bear fruit that no one can deny. Amen.